Since the dawn of time, stories of witches, sorceresses, and terrifying beings have haunted every corner of the world. These enigmatic figures have woven themselves into the folklore of nearly every culture, leaving behind tales of fear, power, and the supernatural. Whether it's casting spells, communing with spirits, or cursing entire villages, these witches and their like remain as dark reminders of the unknown forces that lurk beyond the realm of human understanding. Today we'll take you on a chilling journey across continents to uncover the terrifying legends of the top 5 scariest witches and alike around the world. Be warned, these stories may haunt your nightmares. Our journey begins in the heart of the United States with the infamous Bell Witch, one of the most documented witch legends in American history. The Bell Witch haunted the Bell family in the early 19th century, tormenting them on their Tennessee farm. But this wasn't just any haunting, it was a relentless assault on the family, especially John Bell and his daughter, Betsy. The mysterious entity would pull their hair, slap them, and even speak to them in chilling voices. Neighbors reported hearing strange voices, and sometimes the witch would appear as an apparition, a black dog or a bird, watching ominously. It's said that the witch claimed to have poisoned John Bell herself, marking the only known instance in U.S. history of a supernatural being causing someone's death. What's more terrifying is the Bell Witch never truly left. To this day, people still report strange encounters near the Bell family's old homestead. Could she still be out there watching, waiting for her next victim? Next, we travel to Italy, where the legend of La Befana has been passed down for centuries. Unlike the other witches on this list, La Befana isn't purely malevolent. In fact, she's often portrayed as an old, kind-hearted woman who flies on her broomstick and delivers gifts to children on the night of Epiphany, January 5th. But don't let her generous side fool you. This witch also has a darker edge. According to some versions of the story, La Befana is cursed, forever searching for the Christ child after she refused to help the 3 wise men on their journey to Bethlehem. When she realized her mistake, it was too late, and now she roams the earth, looking for the baby she failed to assist. And though she's said to leave sweets and gifts for good children, woe to the naughty ones. Instead of gifts, they receive a lump of coal or worse. Stories claim she kidnaps misbehaving children, dragging them away to her lair. With her weathered face, sharp nose, and mysterious powers, La Befana remains one of Italy's most beloved and feared figures. Our next terrifying witch comes from the vast forests of Eastern Europe, Baba Yaga, one of the most iconic figures in Russian and Slavic folklore. Unlike other witches, Baba Yaga doesn't live in a cave or a castle. She resides in a small wooden hut perched on chicken legs, deep in the forest. The house moves at her command, evading anyone who dares to seek her out. Baba Yaga is not only a witch but also a powerful, unpredictable force of nature. She's often portrayed as a gaunt, hag-like figure with iron teeth and long bony legs. Though many seek her out for her vast knowledge of magic, meeting her is a gamble. Baba Yaga can be both a helper and a devourer, deciding on a whim whether she will aid those who seek her or consume them whole. Her forest is said to be filled with the bones of those who have failed to please her. Many tales describe her flying through the air in a mortar and pestle, sweeping away her tracks with a broom so that no one can follow. Beware if you ever hear the creaking of her house's legs or the eerie scraping of her broom, Baba Yaga is never far behind. In the folklore of Mexico, witches are known as Mejo or brujas, and they are deeply feared for their dark powers. But the scariest of all are those who can transform into animals. Most notably, the Nahuales, witches who can shapeshift into wolves, owls, and even bats. These witches practice black magic, cast curses and drain the life from their victims. One of the most famous tales comes from Veracruz, where it's believed that a powerful Majo once terrorized a small village. She would appear as a beautiful woman during the day, luring men to their doom, but at night, she transformed into a monstrous creature with the ability to control the winds, snakes, and scorpions. Her victims would fall ill, experiencing strange symptoms as though a curse had taken hold of them, with many succumbing to her power. Local legends claim that these witches still roam the countryside, seeking revenge or fulfilling sinister rituals, so be cautious if you ever hear a strange whistle or see glowing eyes in the dark. Before we reveal the most feared witch of all, here are 3 special mentions that, while terrifying, didn't quite make our top 5 list. These witches and spirits are every bit as chilling and have haunted their regions for centuries. Our first special mention is the Manananggal, one of the most terrifying creatures in Philippine folklore. Unlike a traditional witch, this horrifying being is a shape-shifting vampiric monster that can sever its upper body from its lower half and sprout enormous bat-like wings to hunt for human prey. It's said that the Manananggal hunts at night, silently flying through the air in search of sleeping victims, often pregnant women or newborn babies. By day, the Manananggal appears as an ordinary woman. But at night, she undergoes a gruesome transformation. Her torso detaches from her lower body, and massive, leathery wings emerge from her back. She flies through the darkness, seeking her prey, using her long, proboscis-like tongue to suck out the blood or entrails of her victims through windows or roofs. The Manananggal is not just a mindless monster. It's a cunning creature with supernatural powers. Legends say that she can cast spells to paralyze her victims or cause illness in those who cross her. Her lower half, left behind in the bushes or under trees, must be carefully hidden during her nocturnal hunt, for if salt or garlic is placed on it, the Manananggal will be unable to rejoin her body by sunrise and will die a horrific death. The thought of a creature that can separate its body, fly through the night, and silently drain the life from unsuspecting villagers has haunted the Philippines for generations. Stories of the Manananggal are still told in rural areas to this day, with people hanging garlic or salt near their windows to ward off this deadly creature. Her unique and grotesque ability to hunt by night and transform into a nightmarish creature of the sky makes the Manananggal one of the most terrifying figures in Philippine legend. Our second special mention takes us to the spiritual practices of Brazil, where Pomba Gira is a feared and revered figure. Part witch, part spirit, Pomba Gira is an entity often invoked in Afro-Brazilian religions like Umbanda and Quimbanda. She is known for her sensuality, power, and ability to control love, lust, and vengeance. Her seductive charm hides her darker side, where she is said to feast on the energy of those who cross her. Practitioners leave offerings of red roses, wine, and perfume at crossroads to appease her, making sure they stay on her good side. In the remote mountains of Japan lives the Yamaba, or mountain witch. This seemingly harmless old woman lures unsuspecting travelers to her home, only to reveal her true nature once they are asleep. Known to paralyze her victims and feast on their flesh, the Yamaba's legend has haunted the Japanese countryside for generations.
Trick or treat.
Our final and perhaps most ancient witch takes us to the lands of the Bible. The Witch of Endor, also known as the medium who summoned the spirit of the prophet Samuel, is one of the most mysterious and chilling figures in ancient texts. As the story goes, King Saul, desperate for guidance before a battle, sought out the Witch of Endor to summon the spirit of Samuel, the recently deceased prophet. Despite the law forbidding witchcraft, Saul was willing to risk everything to speak to the dead. The witch succeeded in raising Samuel's spirit, but the ghost's words foretold Saul's doom, declaring that both he and his sons would die in the battle. The next day, Saul's fate was sealed, just as the witch had warned. The Witch of Ender's power to summon the dead and peer into the future still haunts religious and historical scholars today. Was she simply a tool of fate, or did she hold far more sinister powers than even the Bible reveals? From the terrifying Bell Witch of Tennessee to the mysterious Witch of Ender, these figures remind us that witches have existed in every culture, every time, and every place. Their stories, full of fear and fascination, continue to haunt our imaginations even today. So, the next time you hear a strange noise in the night or feel a chill run down your spine, remember, witches may be closer than you think.